Oh, how wonderful. Okay, this is one of those, red light freeze moments. Shannon Grove, our wonderful representative Shannon Grove, is here to speak to us. Shannon, thank you so much for being here. Okay, so welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon. I'm Assemblywoman Shannon Grove, and I represent the Central Valley and Bakersfield, Tehachapi, Taft, Ridgecrest, and the Central Valley area. You guys are over there. The camera is right here, and I'm getting instructions that I have to look this way. So it might be a little awkward. Anyways, I wanted to tell you that I don't know what God was thinking when He put a military first. I'm the first female veteran that ever served on the assembly floor, served in the United States Army. So I don't know what God was thinking when He put somebody who is a military veteran, who's a gun carrying, Bible thumping, spirit filled believer, who's a business owner that has a lot of employees in this state and is very frustrated with what the state is doing to businesses and our rights and our freedoms. I believe in our Constitution and I support it on a daily basis. So I'm not sure what God was doing when He brought me here, because I am way like a fish out of water, okay, here. But I do want to share with you a little bit. I want to share with you, you guys, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, but you guys are doing the right thing. If we lose the integrity of our vote and the process of our vote for elections, we lose every freedom, and this nation will fall like other nations have fell. There's no doubt in my mind that that's what's going to happen. That's why we've got to stand up and protect the right of our vote to be counted. Only the proper and eligible votes should be counted, and making sure that the integrity of a vote is sustained. I have a few quotes here that were put together. Founding Father Samuel Adams says that the people alone have an unconscionable, inalienable, and indefensible, sorry, I got it on my notes, right to institute government and to reform, alter, or totally change the same government when their protection, safety, and prosperity and happiness require it. It's about time for a change, and I'm not talking about Obama's change. So that's something that desperately needs to be done, and you guys are the remnant. And let me tell you, God does amazing things with remnants. Amazing things with remnants, and you guys are the remnant. And when this remnant travels throughout this state and throughout this nation on the issues of election integrity and our right to protect our vote, the nation's got to stand up and look. Especially if there's no validity in the way that people are voting today, and there's no verification process. We've got to be able to stand up and protect that. Another founding father, Samuel Adams, also declared, "Let each citizen remember that at the moment of his offering his vote or her vote, that he is executing one of the most solemn trusts in human society, which he is accountable to God and country." Your vote should be one of the most important things that you do. Your vote is very important, and your vote counts. And to think that your vote doesn't count, I think that's why we lose a lot of elections these days, is because people believe their vote doesn't count and they sit at home. Well, let me tell you something. Being up here and fighting this fight every day in the den that I'm in, don't come talk to me if you didn't vote. Don't come talk to me. You need to know who your representative, and you need to be actively seeking out who your representative is and hold them accountable. I don't care if you're in an 80% Democratic district, you pound on their doorstep every day and tell them, why did you vote for this? I know it kind of let the wind out of our sail a little bit because the governor signed AB 817 yesterday, and that bill allows non-citizens the right to vote. Oh, to work in the polls. Sorry, there's a bill on the floor that allows them to vote. We just took that up on Monday, so I apologize. But to work in the polls. When you think about it, they use the big argument that, if you're a non-citizen, you serve in the military, you pick up a weapon and you defend this country. Why can't you work in the polls? How many of our veterans are coming back scrambling for a job that pays minimum wage to work in a polls 4 to 6 hours and 1 day a year? Not very many. They're looking for individuals and to have them have a right to be in that poll setting that are completely against the sovereignty that we enjoy and the freedoms that we have in this nation. And they, under this bill, will put them in that polling place. Because it's not the veterans that are picking up their weapon and serving overseas in order to achieve citizenship that are fighting for these jobs. It's the activists that they're going to put in those positions that are going to derail our integrity of our vote. And that's the issue on this. So when I look at other founding fathers, when I look at 100 years later after Samuel Adams made the statement and the Congressional Congress was formed, it says 100 years after they declared their independence, President James Garfield said, "Now more than ever, the people are responsible for the character of their Congress," and I'll add, to their elected officials. "If that body is ignorant, reckless, or corrupt, it's because the people tolerate recklessness, ignorance, and corruption. If that body is intelligent, brave, and pure, it's because the people demand these high qualities to represent them in the national legislature. The next centennial, if the next centennial does not find us a great nation, it will be because those who represent the enterprise, the culture, and the morality of the nation do not aid in controlling the political forces." America is a new nation compared to the rest of the world. You can go anywhere in the rest of the world and they're celebrating their, all these millions of years of heritage or hundreds of thousands of years of heritage, all these old issues over in Europe. You come to America and we get excited we have a centennial. And we know it's 100 years old because we're excited. Because our nation is very young. It was founded on principles of freedom and everybody having a right to vote, everybody's vote being protected, and principles that made this nation free and great. And if we don't change the way things are going now, we will lose those freedoms. I often share a story. Before I got into politics, I used to take youth kids on missions trips. And when I went to Zimbabwe, Africa, we had different things. We went out and there were street kids and we used to take care of all the street kids, and it was like a do or die situation. I mean, they'd fight for food, they'd fight over clothes, fight over shoes. And then we went to this other place and it was a very wealthy man's house and he had a big palace, and we sat into his living room, and I had just worked with the street kids all day long. And there's thousands of people wandering the streets. And I told him, I said, my heart breaks for these people, these kids that are in the street. And he looked right at me in the eye and he goes, "Why?" I said, "Why?" He goes, "They know no different. They were born into this. This is life to them. That's what they've always had and what they always will have." He goes, "The people that saw Zimbabwe as the breadbasket of the world and that died before it fell, those people died knowing Zimbabwe was the breadbasket of the world, and they died knowing it was a great country. The people you should feel sorry for are the people that live through the greatest part of Zimbabwe, the fall, and now have lost everything and wandering without freedom." That scares me to death because I think I could be in part of that generation in the great United States of America. The people who went before us, World War II survivors and World War II people that have passed on, or World War I survivors, that have World War I warriors that have passed on, they know the United States of America is a great nation. Kids, if our nation was to fall, our kids that are born, they'd be born into that. But us, we would be the generation that saw that great nation fall from what it is to what it possibly can become. And that's a very scary place to be, especially as a legislator. I challenge you all to continue to fight. Like I said earlier, God can do amazing things with a remnant, and it just takes a remnant of people to make a difference. It just takes one person to make a difference. And even though their numbers seem to be bigger, we still have to stand on the truths and the principles that our great founding fathers put in writing so long ago when they put pen to parchment paper and they said, "We are a free nation. These constitutional rights and privileges protect our free nation, and we can't let those things alter or falter." So God bless you, and thank you for letting me share a few minutes with you.